perhaps the most disturbing development over the last 2 days has been the spate of political criticisms of the Election Commission. They've come largely from the Bharatiya Janata Party, but also the Aam Aadmi Party. And it's forced the Election Commission to take the unprecedented step of calling a special press conference to defend itself. With me to discuss what the situation confronting the Election Commission means is Election Commissioner HS Brahma. Mr. Brahma, yesterday, Narendra Modi called the Election Commission unfair. He accused you of being partial. He said you weren't doing your work properly. Given that in perhaps a week's time, Narendra Modi could be the next Prime Minister of India, how do you as an Election Commissioner respond to his accusations?
Karan, honestly, first of all, I would like to clarify two issues. Number one, as a person or as an institution in democracy, it is expected that somebody gives you I won't say it is a criticism, but somebody talks about very, very positive or constructive criticism. I think as an institution, it should be our duty and responsibility also to know about a positive criticism where we have been told to be more, I would say, more of more active in the sense that request of the party or request of any candidates are taken note of and we respond to them in a faster manner or more in quick manner.
I get the impression from your answer that you're not upset or offended by what Mr. Modi has said. In a sense, you're welcoming positive criticism.
You see, normally as a responsible institution, as an election commissioner, as an individual, I don't think so. If somebody tells me, Mr. Brahma, you have not done this job properly, as long as you don't accuse me of bias or etc. But as a citizen of this country, as an institution, especially in democracy, if somebody mentioned to you or to me that we have not done our job honestly or properly, I think I should take it in the right spirit. Yes, if I found that I have not done my job properly, we should try to improve upon that so that this kind of complaint or this kind of feeling of does not recur again and again.
Now, in fact, it's not just Narendra Modi who's accused you of not doing your job properly. Arvind Kejriwal of the Aam Aadmi Party has said this is perhaps the weakest election commission. Would you accept that perhaps when you look back on the election process, there have been errors of judgment, perhaps there have been lapses? Would you accept that?
No, I don't accept that this is the weakest election commissioner, but definitely might be, it may be the perception of few gentlemen or a few person. But if you look at the whole country, if you look at the whole political party, we have 1,600 political parties registered in our country. Of course, not all of them fight election. Out of 1,600 political parties, less than 100 fight the better. But out of these 100 and odd political parties, maybe one or two gentlemen are saying that. I don't accept that we are weak or we are not very strong, but definitely we have been discharging our responsibility. Yes, there might be certain lapses in the implementation of MCC, that is the Model Code of Conduct. Yes, somebody may have his own opinion, personal opinion.
You accept that there could be lapses, there could be errors of judgment in implementing the Model Code of Conduct. You accept that?
Karan, to be honest with you, we have almost 650 districts in this country.
So mistakes will happen?
We have almost more than 542 ROs, district election officers. It may be possible what may be correct in one state may not be correct in the other state. Or there may be some error of judgment because we depend upon our ROs, we depend upon our observers. It can happen in a team of say 542 ROs and district election officers. There are scope of error in judgment, error in application of mind, and error in implementation in rules and regulation of our election code. Yes.
This is very interesting and important. You're being honest enough to concede there could be errors of judgment, there could be mistakes, there could be lapses. But what you're contesting is that the Election Commission has been unfair, that it's been less than impartial. You're contesting that?
Definitely, I'll contest that. We will not accept that we are unfair to anybody. We are unfair to any particular gentleman for any political. This is not our, I think, I don't accept that.
Okay.
We are biased or particular, partisan to any particular group or organization or any particular
Let's
party.
then, Mr. Brahma, focus a little
Yeah.
on the problem you've had with the BJP. The BJP's primary complaint is that you denied permission to Narendra Modi to hold a rally in Benia Bagh in Varanasi. Now, given that rallies are the principal way candidates campaign,
Yeah.
is it fair to deny a candidate a right to hold a rally in his own constituency?
Karan, to be honest with you, absolutely, I think I personally felt, because since we know, we came to know about the incident day before yesterday night on 7th evening, late in the evening. We are not aware about what transpired between our Mr. Jaitley and others, our senior colleagues. But definitely the mistake in that, I would personally, is my personal opinion, which I feel strongly, the mistake committed by our lower level, at our lower level officers formation, that is our RO and DO level, I think there is some sort of communication gap between our applicant, organizer and our DO or the RO of the Banarasi.
Is it just a communication gap or is it something more serious? And I'll tell you why I ask. Arun Jaitley says that he doesn't believe security could be a concern, and the reason he says is this: if Narendra Modi can hold rallies nationwide, sometimes 3 or 4 in a day, and security is not a problem. If he can hold a roadshow in Varanasi on the 24th of April and another roadshow there last night, and again security wasn't a problem, then why should security be a problem in Benia Bagh?
Actually, Benia Bagh, I was told yesterday, after all the thing was being inquired into, found out, discussed with so many people, it was alleged, it was mentioned that the proposed meeting was to be held in the evening, around 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening. So that particular Bagh, the particular Benia Bagh, is an area surrounded by large-scale high-rise buildings and is a very congested locality. And it was believed that in the evening, with large crowd, that too in the middle of the city, there was a feeling that this will pose some sort of very high security problem. So that allegation was that, number one, it was because of security, that is because of the late night operation.
Number two?
And number two, because of large crowd assembling in a very limited space which can hold only about 25,000-30,000 people.
Was this explained to the BJP when you say there was
That's exactly I'm trying to say. There was a serious communication gap between our license giver and license applicant.
You mean Pranjal Yadav, the returning officer, the district magistrate, failed to explain adequately to the BJP?
My first reaction, it is not that the particular land, particular site, particular bug was not used for campaigning for last 45 days. It has been used repeatedly by various party, various candidates, by all sort of people.
That's the point the BJP is making. Akhilesh Yadav used it, Arvind Kejriwal used it.
Everyone is using it.
Why can't we?
There is an allegation, and I would squarely reply to you by pointedly that definitely I accept that there is definitely a communication gap between the two players. And we are from our left side, our left was, we could not communicate properly to the party applicant that these are the issues while we organize a rally in the late evening.
I understand. You're then holding Pranjal Yadav, the district magistrate, responsible for a failure of communication.
I don't say wholly, but anyway, we are asking the detailed report, but definitely.
This is what you believe?
I personally believe, even now from what has been mentioned by the BJP delegation.
Can I bring up one other thing?
Yeah.
The BJP says that in fact the explanation given to them when the permission which was originally granted was withdrawn was that in fact an incident or a disturbance had happened in Benia Bagh in 1991, 23 years ago, and the district magistrate was worried it might be repeated. And the BJP says, why are you worried about something that happened almost a quarter century ago? There have been hundreds of rallies since then. Nothing has happened. This is a flimsy excuse for withdrawing permission.
Actually, normally, we have been all trained from the same academy. We all come from the same background. We have been trained in a similar fashion. Rules, regulations are very similar. What was there in 1950s, what is in the...
But was this flimsy excuse made?
I would personally say to having agreed to give, then denying on this kind of ground
was a mistake.
I won't say mistake, but he could have explained to the parties applicant properly, thoroughly, situation, the doubt, etc.
So this
that could have been amicably settled, amicably decided upon jointly together.
So
as
this
a
was
team.
this was mishandled. This was mishandled.
To a large extent, I would say this could have been done in more effective and more professional manner.
Now let me tell you, and you know this yourself because you've seen what Arun Jaitley has been saying. He's actually gone beyond criticizing Pranjal Yadav, the district magistrate returning officer. He's personally criticized you and your colleagues in the election commission. He said that you are timid. He says you lack boldness. He says you are dwarfing the high office you hold. That is a personal criticism. How do you respond to it?
Karan, because I don't know what is the provocation for our Sri Jaitley Sahab, because he is our elderly man. We know him personally. We know him. We are colleagues. I mean, we work in the government, in the ministry.
But he's hit out very hard at you.
He may have his own ground, but definitely he must have been hard that we have not responded to him properly. I know he has. He openly said he contacted our CEC, told him the issue, and I don't know what was the transpired between them.
He wrote 3 letters to the election commission. He says he got no reply at all. Was that an error? Should you have at least responded in writing to 3 letters?
I mean, okay, I accept the view that as a person, as an employee of this government or the election commissioner, I would accept that if somebody tells you on telephone and somebody requests you that I'm sending a letter, it is our responsibility, our moral and official obligation. If I cannot give you a reply in writing, maybe because of some other business, I could at least reply to you by give me half an hour time, 1 hour time. But this is the stand I'm taking. I'll come back to you maybe within 2 hours, maybe within 3 hours. That is a normal standard operation of a administrator.
That didn't happen, did it?
I didn't know, but how this lapse happened, because I was
It is a lapse. It is a lapse.
I mean, we are there, 7, all of us are there. If somebody, if this was transpired between our Mr. Sampath and Mr. Jaitley, I feel bad that, I mean, this could have been attended by one of our other senior colleagues, there are other people are there.
So you're saying something very important, Mr. Brahma. Although you're saying it delicately, but you're saying that the election commission, at the level of election commissioners, could have also handled this better. You should have responded to Arun Jaitley.
Definitely.
You should have assured him.
I mean, we expect that suppose I speak to you, if you telephone me raising your problem, it will be my responsibility. Karan, sorry brother, I'm in the meeting. Give me a half an hour, 20 minutes, I'll come back to you, or you speak to me after 1 hour, 2 hours. It is our responsibility. We are trained in that profession. If you write to me, it is my duty to reply to you. If you speak to me, I must give you a reply in speaking. Suppose I am not able to speak to you, responding to your request, some problem, I must tell you, Karan, give me half an hour, bhaiya, do give me 2 hours.
Okay.
Uske baad main aapko bataunga kya hoga.
You're being extremely honest. You've accepted 2 or 3 very important things. You've accepted that the district magistrate, the returning officer in Varanasi, is guilty of miscommunication. He's guilty of mishandling it. You've also accepted that at the very level of the election commissioners, yourself, your other colleague and the CEC, you should have responded to Arun Jaitley. You should have written back to him.
Definitely, I accept that. If had known to me, I would have responded. If somebody has told me yes, I'll do it.
Let me, in that same spirit of honesty, raise with you 2 other issues of concern. People say that there is a certain apparent discrimination in the way you handle problems related to Narendra Modi and the way you handle problems related to Rahul Gandhi. When Narendra Modi allegedly addressed a press conference immediately outside the polling booth in Ahmedabad, within hours, the Election Commission ordered that an FIR be filed against him. 48 hours or more have lapsed since Rahul Gandhi was photographed violating the voting compartment of not 1, but 3 separate polling booths in Amethi. And even now, no action has been taken against Rahul Gandhi. And people say, in 6 hours you acted against Narendra Modi, 48 hours and more have lapsed, and you haven't acted against Rahul Gandhi.
Karan, of course, I won't accept that we are having different standard for different party or candidates. You may be having your own view, or somebody must be having the view, but definitely a report of that incident of which I came to know through Times of India reportage yesterday. The report has come, and I'm sure, I think our commission, we are sitting right now, I'm sure we'll be able to take a decision today.
You know the reason why people question the time frame in which you acted? Virtually 4 or 5 hours in the Modi case, over 48 hours and nothing has happened in the Rahul Gandhi case, because you are quoted in today's Times of India as saying there is no grey area in the Rahul Gandhi case. He is clearly seen standing inside the voting compartment, and that's obvious to anyone. So people say, what verification is needed? No verification was taken in the Modi case. You believed he had violated the MCC, you believed he had violated the RP Act, and you acted. It's quite clear Rahul Gandhi is violated.
I'm sure, of course, there might have been delay by our people, but definitely, as per the law of the land, as per the whatever report has come from our ground level, definitely what I think our people will take decision on that. I don't deny that.
You began the answer very interestingly. You began by saying, I accept there has been delay in the Rahul Gandhi case. Would you clarify? You think you should have acted faster in the Rahul Gandhi case?
Karan, I must tell you honestly, we conduct election less than 60 days. So, as far as election commission decision and activity should not go beyond 6 to 10 hours. You see, people expect election commission has the history and the background and capacity and initiative for the last 60 years, deciding within the next 3, 4, 5 hours. You have seen our illustrious gentlemen.
You said a very important thing, and I'm interrupting you.
I must tell you honestly, this country, the people of this country expect election commission to act not more beyond 10 to 12 hours, because this is an instant case. In my personal view, it should be our endeavor, it should be our initiative, it should be our motivation to anything to be done should not go for next day. It should be done within 10, 12 hours.
You've said a very important thing, and you said it perhaps 3 or 4 times in that answer, that the election commission should act within 6 or 8 hours. Earlier you said 3 or 5 hours. In other words, the election commission should act immediately, if not instantaneously. In Rahul Gandhi's case, 48 hours and more have lapsed and you haven't acted. So you're saying to me, the delay is unforgivable.
Let us see. I cannot, you are definitely welcome to give your suggestion, but from our side, I think definitely election commissioner also act in the manner we are expected to act. Because in democracy, in election...
You're saying one thing else, that the delay is grounds for people being suspicious, because the delay shouldn't have happened.
If you delay, if the parameters are different, people will start thinking, making two together. Therefore, we should avoid this kind of
Let me then come back to the point that Narendra Modi made, which you rejected. He said the election commission is partial, the election commission is unfair. When you look at the delay in the Rahul Gandhi case and compare it to the speed with which you acted in Narendra Modi's case, doesn't it suggest partiality and unfairness?
Of course, I won't accept that we are partial, but maybe because since we had a severe problem yesterday, we had this problem. Yesterday we had a whole day, dharna and all these allegation, counter allegation. I think we had lots of time, but today we are a little bit slightly free. I don't say we are free. We are also busily engaged in other area of 12 exams.
Can I ask you this? We're talking at 1 o'clock exactly on Friday. When will action be taken in the Rahul Gandhi matter?
I'm sure before the end of the day.
Before the end of today?
Yes.
So by the time this interview goes on air, at 9 o'clock tonight, you will have decided.
We should decide. What is the time otherwise?
And if
today we are 9, tomorrow you are 10th, and 12 is the final day of
One question, suppose you haven't decided by the time we go on air at 9 tonight, would you accept that is a serious lapse then on the part of the election commission?
We should not go beyond 5 to 6 p.m. today in the afternoon. Not expected.
You should not go beyond 5 or 6 p.m.
We should decide good or bad, yes or no.
Let me come back to the point that Arun Jaitley made, and I know he made it in personal terms, I know he made it in ways that probably are offensive to you, but he said that the election commission are timid men who do not act boldly. Now when you look at the delay in the Rahul Gandhi case, people might say that is timidity, that is lack of boldness.
Of course, I cannot stop people commenting or giving that kind of remark, but definitely election commission, never in the history we are found to be timid, and definitely in future also will be timid. But what I feel that whatever decision to be taken, decision should be quick and prompt, and that's what I should aim for.
You've so often talked about decisions should be quick and prompt, how action should be taken within 6 to 8 hours,
Yes.
how the election commission should be decisive. Do you have a leadership problem at the top of the election commission?
I mean, Karan, it is a very subjective matter. It will not be fair on my part to say that. I mean, we work as a team, we live like a team, we will die like a team. So I think there is we have to accept some level of certain standards. So it will not be fair to say, fair on my part, commenting about the role of the leadership, role of the quality of leadership.
Mr. Brahma, you've said it very carefully and very discreetly. You haven't actually denied there could be a leadership problem. What you've said is that it wouldn't be fair to talk about it.
Definitely.
A team stands as a team, and if the team leader has a problem, then the team must support the leader rather than go public and complain about the leader.
Exactly. Your father was a chief of Indian Army, you know it. Like in defense service, any organizations.
You don't criticize the top
You
man.
don't criticize. You can always, as a team, always say, "Bhai, your thing is not good. You should do this. You should do this."
I understand.
So that should be our spirit.
You don't criticize the top man in public.
But you tell him, you advise him, "Bhai, this is not the way we should do. This is not the way we should conduct ourselves.
And
this is not the spirit we believe. This should be like this." Yeah.
And that advice to the top man is clearly happening. Do you get the feeling the top man is not listening or not responding?
Of course. I mean, in a team, I don't think we had such thing happened, but definitely we should work as a team and more in aggressive manner, in a more effective manner. Yes.
My last question to you. There have been a spate of political attacks on the election commission, particularly in the last 2-3 days. Today, for the first time, you have very openly and honestly accepted lapses, delays. You've even suggested that perhaps as a team you should work in a more coordinated way. You've even accepted
I don't say
that
coordination is there, but you should work in more effective manner.
And you've also accepted that perhaps there are leadership concerns, but you're not going to go public about them.
We should not.
You should not. Let me then sum up by putting this to you. Has the last 2-3 days, the last week, damaged the standing of the election commission in the country?
The way it was carried out in the print and the press and also in other media, definitely, of course, I won't say that the whole country is having some doubt or some feeling about it, but definitely it really affects some standing of the Election Commission of India last 10 days. Yes.
The standing has been affected.
Definitely. The way it has been talked, the way it has been expressed in public, in the print, in the press, and the electronic media, it is not a welcome sign. I mean, we have built up the reputation of institution for the last 50 years.
And now you have to work especially hard to overcome this.
We should not only work hard, but we should try to be more what I would say, in more coordinated manner, more aggressive manner, so that the image is not really affected. Because in democracy,
So that the image is repaired.
we should not, it may happen, I mean, we cannot afford the image of the country going down, we cannot affect the image of the election commission going down. Ultimately, in a democracy, which is the institution to be respected, if a people doesn't have a faith, doesn't have a regard, doesn't have a respect, then the structure start shaking. So that's why, in my opinion, personal opinion, we should not allow any opportunity or any kind of scope when you start questioning, because election commission must stand that not only you do good job but seem to be doing good job. Yes.
Mr. Brahma, for speaking so openly, so candidly, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. Thank you so much, Karan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.